So this is what you've been doing your late nights for? This Gaff headboard arrangement. Well, it's not the headboard, it's the thing that will allow us to put away our headboard. Words fail me.
It's our Gaff lock.
Thank you. Because we've got a square top head sail with a Gaff batten.
It's not a head sail, it's a mainsail.
Oh, fun! See, okay, you tell. I can't speak. You need to say it.
So, made this little gadget here, which allows, you can see the main halyard here, to allow the head, particularly this is not quite a headboard, but normally this is a headboard here, to detach from the head car so that the Gaff batten can lie down in the bag and the head can be put away. Normally we actually have a plate here with a pin in it. I'm going to experiment with trying to do it with the webbing.
Because that's what we've got, isn't it?
Yeah, so that's why I'm going to experiment with it.
Okay, let's see.
So what happens is you pull the, and I've also got this set up on a 2-to-1 halyard as opposed to a 1-to-1 halyard like we do on the bigger boats. But what it does is, this is first go. Now,
Oh, it's not going to go over there.
that has to jump and hook over that. Now this is pretty normal. We actually need some load.
Oh, too soft.
Yeah, it's too soft. But I can manually do it. So with the pin ones, it just jumps and slides over.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah. Beautiful day this morning, and we're going to test the code 0.
Yep.
But before we can do that, we need to put an attachment point in. Well, we have an attachment point. We need to put the pin in our dragon.
Yep. Put a pin in our dragon side.
Show me the pin, please. And you machine that up out of some more bits of nitronic that you found?
Titanium.
Ooh, titanium.
Yeah, this is a titanium compression tube spreader thingies in the old mast.
Oh, okay, so we're recycling. Oh, that's right. Yeah, there were some bits in the mast. That was the bits that were holding the mast apart, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And you just machine that up.
Yeah.
That's cool.
There's a big black spliced loop. It's about that long, I think. It's in the rumor of 1 at the moment.
How thick is it?
Hey?
How thick is it?
It's my pinky finger.
Okay.
So you're going to put a strop through it?
Yeah, I just put a loop in it for now. Then when we get back this later, lunchtime, run the rope through, put the clutches on the other end. Just come up a little bit, Ollie, see if we can get it to fill a little better. Yeah, up a little more. Can't make it any heavier. Alright, so here's some more bits to the Code Zero puzzle. This is the Furler unit. Now I went and got myself a decent one. These things, there are a lot around on the market, different options from these guys, KZ Marine, which I would have to say is probably top of the list, number one, best you can buy. Then below that will be your Profils, your Facnors, your Carvers, and then there's a lot of generic brands underneath that. Used a few different brands with varying success, and I ended up going with KZ for reason number one, reliability. These guys, Furlers, are next level step up from everything else. You can't compare them. Even the next best guys that we use on the bigger boats, on some of the bigger boats, the Facnors, like KZ, if you're a racer and serious about racing, and particularly offshore racing, there's no other option. It's KZ, KZ or KZ. They just make the best gear there is. And the reason being is the materials they use and the bearings they use. Their stuff seems to just roll. It's the only, particularly under load, their stuff rolls smoothly and every time. The Facnor stuff that we use, which is considered probably the next best stuff there is just not quite the same quality. We see small rust stains come out of bearing areas a little bit earlier, a lot earlier than what this stuff does. This stuff, I've never seen the rust staining coming out of bearings like I do with some of the other gear. And when it's under load and you spin it, you can feel that the bearing is under load on other brands, whereas this stuff, you can take it to max load and it still swivels smoothly. Whatever their bearing system is they're using, or the size specking and their design methodology for tolerances and allowances, these guys have got it right. As far as their furler and swivel is concerned, they're just top notch, and the use of captive pins and things like that is great. The thing that I don't like about KZ furlers, this is an inshore one, is I've got to take this guard off to get the furler line out, but that is because this is an inshore. The offshore one, instead of having this plastic guard, they've got a different wire one which you can actually get the furler line off, but they don't do it in the smaller sizes, which is a little bit of a pain, but that's life when you're dealing with small boats. Lots and lots and lots of options with fork widths and pin diameters and all the rest of it. With us, I use a 2-to-1 fitting on the bottom, so my tack line, well, at the moment it's just the loop that goes through here. Tomorrow hopefully I'll put the clutch and the actual tack line on here, so we have a 2-to-1 tack line. There's a 3-to-1 option that they're actually going to custom make for me. That's the other good thing about these guys, is they'll custom build stuff for you as well at not insanely expensive prices. They'll probably not like the cable that I use with a thimble in it. This is pretty low grade for these guys. Normally they'll actually have a fixed length cable attachment detail, which is a thimble with a machined hole in it, and it's just much nicer than this. But
This is the cable I have inside of our Zero, so that's what I use, and it currently works. I could get fancy pants and put a proper thimble in here instead of a sailmaker thimble, but I don't have, and I don't have the money to spend to do that. Now you'll also notice at the top of my swivel this interesting looking fitting, and you'll probably be wondering how I attach to this. Well, this is actually designed for soft shackles. So these guys are as up to speed as it gets. So these guys, you can have this as a fork type situation. This is one of, I think, 4 swivel top options. You can see here the scrub screw holds this top fitting bit in, so you can actually get different styles of fittings on the top here. But because I use a soft shackle on my halyard, this is a really nice connection point. I have the 2-to-1 on the bottom, so they have, you know, a really nice connection point. They're doing a 3-to-1 connection point for me for when I use this. So I'll actually not only use this swivel for the Code Zero, I'll unclip it and use it for our trinket as well. So it's the same sort of load on my Code Zero as there is on my trinket, so same swivel gear and furler unit. So I only need 1 set of furlers to do 2 sails. Kind of cool and handy. And I've got all the attachment fittings for all of those bits, so that they're all just interchangeable, because I'll never be using a trinket with the Zero, or maybe I will. If I want to go double-headed, I probably will. But I'll have to figure out another solution. Yeah, so if you are looking at furler units, and you're looking at not the budget end, and you have a decent boat with decent sails on it, and so you're in that performance multi-hull or even just performance yacht thing, the KZ Marine furler units are the bomb. I can't say enough good things about them. They've done us some solids in the racing world over the years, and I brought them over onto my cruising boat, and I've never looked back. Yeah, that's dealing with the head and the tack. What we attach the sheets to and how the sheets attach to the Zero. In this case, it's all sewn in. Let's have a look. Back in the bag. Notice our Zero doesn't live hoisted. It lives in its bag, not getting destroyed by the UV and the wind and everything else. Never leave your sails hanging up in the air if you can help it. There we go. Here's the clew. So there's a piece of Dyneema that's sewn into the clew. Super clean, super tidy, super lightweight. And I have a spliced eye in the other end. Where is it? There it is. And then I have a soft shackle on my sheet that attaches to these. Super simple, super light, super clean. Why do I have this?
No metal.
No metal. Oh, there's a small bit of aluminium because we use the tie light fittings, but yeah, very little metal. Why is there a tail on the clew? One, to keep our sheets, the cover on the sheets and the taper on the sheet in the correct place, so I can go between the Zero and the spinnaker sheets and have the between the spinnakers and the Zero and have the sheets sheeted at the same place, if that makes sense. That the covered bit of my spinnaker sheet is on the winch, and the uncovered part is tapered bit is from the block up to the sail. So that actually sits in the same place, and depending on what sail I have, this tail bit changes its length so that the sheet ends up in the same place each time. But yeah, that's why we have these tail things on, and it also makes, particularly with the spinnakers, jibing a little bit easier.
Yeah, because you take the cover off where you don't need it because it's lighter.
Yeah.
You only need cover where you've got either UV protection or chafe protection, right?
Yeah, but also with the jibing, it keeps the two sheets away from that big hard point of the clew. So when this goes around the forestay, you're only having to drag one piece of string without all the connection points.
Yeah, that's true. There's no big knot.
There's no big knot or bits. So the sail goes through, then this goes past, and then the bit with the lumpy bits of connections go through second. But by that stage, everything's happened, and it goes past a lot easier. Yeah. So this knotty bit is.
Why have you got it all tied up like that?
Because this actually had two sheets, port and starboard, but when we got the sail, one of the sheets was actually cut, so I've been lazy and I just knotted it up so it didn't get tangled around shite.
We just need to take that off, really, don't we?
That's another job. Yeah.
Splice it in or something.
No, it just needs to be cut off. Yeah, I could probably bury it and clean it up, but in my spare 5 minutes that I have when I'm not working on everything else on the boat, I'll do that. Barnacles t-shirt on.
Good man, thank you.
Look at that. Representing.
Yeah. Well, I know your wife's a pain. But we've done all of that video on going out for a sail with our code 0, but I think maybe we need to give a bit of a debrief and just run through how we sheet it up.
How we sheet it?
Yeah.
So, of course, we're currently in a marina, so we haven't got the code 0 up, but I can show you where the sheeting point is. So the sheeting block for the kites and the code 0 on the aft corner of the boat here. That's the original block that came with the boat. It's not the best one in the world, but it works. But yeah, that's approximately the angle of an angle. I don't pull on it hard enough to align it, but yeah, that's the aft block. So it goes from the aft corner of the boat here, and then it shoots across from the corner here to the main saddle where the main sheet arrangement sheets off, and that's a removable block that's on a loop and a dog blown, so that can actually go away when we aren't using it. And then from there it goes up to the winch. Now that's a little bit of a pain of a system, because if Anna stands back and gets sort of a whole overview, it creates not a triangle of death, but a square of death. So these are sheeting arrangements we try to avoid a little bit, because you can see particularly that block there fails, if anyone's standing here, they'll get wiped out by the tensioning sheet. Likewise, so will the steering wheel. But we couldn't avoid this sheeting situation, not at the moment anyway. I could re-rig where we go from that aft corner, put a new block on the gunnel, and then sheet it up to the primary, which would make it a safer option, but it's in the too hard basket, means I've got to drill holes in the side of the deck and seal them up and remove hood liners and all that, whereas I just use what I have and it works. So yeah, that's how we sheet the code 0. So nothing spectacular or crazy. Same with the kites. I do put a barber hauler on it if required, and that's pretty simple. So there's 2 attachment points for it there. There is a small pulley block and the cleat. So the horn cleat is my go-to. This horn cleat here is the go-to position for my barber hauler. My barber hauler has a loop on it which literally just fits over the horn cleat, and it's got a blocker tackle on it and an antel
snap loop ring thing on it, and yeah, that then pulls up and down, and that way I can control the leach depending on what's needed. If I'm running a bit deep, so if I'm running quite deep downwind, particularly with the zero, I'm in a situation where I shouldn't be with the zero, I'll use the barber hauler to control the leach tension. I use the barber hauler all the time for the jib. It's an absolute must, critical have on board a boat is the barber hauler. Yeah, that's my basic downwind sheeting setup. So
And we're happy with our code 0?
yeah, happy with the code 0. Unfortunately, it started delambing a little bit. But
Yeah. It's quite old though. How old was the material when we think about it?
Well, it's for the 2007 Cup, and it would be in at least a year or two before that. So, I don't call it 14, 15 years old.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah. Like, I mean, yeah, somebody said it's an expensive sail. Yes, but no, because
yeah, it's
limited use.
yeah, very limited lifespan in the material, but it's we got something
Yeah, it's working.
that
for
we
us.
didn't have before, so
Yeah, at some point we're going to have to.
we'll have to make a new one.
Yeah. Right. Okay.